Brand disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed by individuals on this platform, the callers plus invited guests, are their own. The information you hear does not reflect the overall views of all parties associated with this brand. We encourage everyone to research all things heard live or via archive for edification purposes. Discretion is advised.
Don't touch that dial. You're now listening to Debate Talk Free Radio.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome to another show. You're now listening to the Summer Special 2019, Debate Talk Free Radio. I'm your host, Sal Showtime, and we are back for 2 weeks for the special. We appreciate the family that's tuning in via phone, via Skype. I dial in number 319-527-6239. Tonight is the open mic segment on Debate Talk for you, where anybody can really call in. However, I'm going to use this opportunity just to promote some of the segments, the shows that's coming up for these 2 weeks. And if anybody want to randomly call in and bring up certain issues here and there later, open mic right here on Debate Talk for you. Of course, on social media, we appreciate the family that's tuning into the program. Do me a favor, and if you're listening inside a group on Facebook, do me a favor, share it on your personal page. Let people know that Debate Talk for you is live on the air, and make sure you attach that call-in number, 319-527-6239. I do have a few people standing by that's going to, talk about certain things that's coming up on this program, Debate Talk for you. I just want to fill in people about the new segment that's going to be coming up September. Everybody know that season 10 is going to go down Monday, September 23rd. That's the first show. Monday, September 23rd is season 10 seasons of Debate Talk Free Radio. We're going to start season 10 on the 23rd. Lock it in your calendar if you didn't have it. And we're going to kick off the first show with a brand new segment I call the Social Hub. Now, the Social Hub is a show where it's not going to be talking about spiritual matters. We're going to be talking about more things that's going on in the community, more community-based issues, things that's going on in the world. And the first topic we're going to tackle September 23rd, feminism. That's right, the controversial topic about feminism in 2019. Is it the same thing, same concept, same meaning as it was when it started? We're going to have a lot of different things going on. And, of course, I have three hosts of the show, brand new hosts that's going to be joining me on the Social Hub. One of the hosts is here right now, and it's an honor and a pleasure to have her join me for the new segment. Actually, everybody know my brother Felix, who recently passed away. We did a tribute to the brother, and it's an honor that we actually going to have his sister joining us for the segment. And I know if my brother was alive, he would definitely approve of the move. But once again, I appreciate my sister. This is Jennifer. Welcome to the program.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's an honor as well. I'm just very grateful and appreciative for this opportunity.
All right. Once again, it's my sis Jennifer. We've been building since she's a part of the program now, part of the Debate Talk for You family. What's been going on with you? How do you feel about this segment coming up?
I'm very confident about it. It's a passion that grows on me. I have great things I would like to talk about, great things I would like to discuss. Also, I'm a life learner, so I love to learn. I love to listen. I love to, I just love learning and educating myself so I can, in return, educate others. And this would be a great platform for such things.
Yeah, no doubt. Everybody know Debate Talk for You. We have discussions, debates, roundtable discussions, all about spiritual matters. And this one is going to be a little bit different. We're trying to do a little segue from those spiritual issues. However, we still may touch on a few things spiritually, but it's going to be more community-based, issues going on in the program. So, again, look out for the Social Hub. I just wanted people to hear from Jennifer. Let people know what you feel like you're going to bring to the table as far as, how you are and the experience that you have.
Well, so far, a few topics I was, doing research on is pretty much building, how can we build our community and how can we come together as a nation. And I believe we should have a code of some type of ethical code that we should all live by. Those are pretty much the things I was looking up in researching on how to just build up the community, how to just empower people, all the listeners, and just to empower people, like to make different choices, to make better choices, and just to analyze, just to analyze themselves and just to do things differently for the better, for the greater good. So.
Yeah, no doubt. Once again, Jennifer, I just want to say this publicly. I appreciate you being here with me. Again, you're part of the family, and you're like a sister to me. So once again, I appreciate you being here, and looking forward to see you in September. Any last words you want to say to the family? Go ahead.
I'm appreciative for everyone welcoming me and embracing me, and just having an open mind about the things I would like to bring towards the table. And thank you. Thank you again, Sal, for having me as a host. This is a great opportunity, and I'm very appreciative.
All right, no doubt. So look out for Jennifer. She's going to be here. Bring her information live on the Bay Talk Radio. And, of course, the other hosts are going to be joining us a little later on. Once again, it's going to be called the Social Hub. That's the name of the segment. You may change the name, but for now, we're going to use the Social Hub right now. All right. We're still waiting for a few people that's supposed to be calling into the program. Again, it's the Open Mic Summer Special, y'all. We're kicking it off at the Open Mic. I'm going to go down the line and let y'all know what's going on the schedule for these 2 weeks right here on the Bay Talk Radio. Before we get into that, I have another special guest, and everybody know this brother. He's been debating in the Lion's Den. He was on trial. The brother is here. It's been a long, long time since we heard from this brother, but I reached out to him and I told him to call in to speak about a show that we may do in September. This is my brother Davon Mays. Welcome to the program.
Shalom, Sal. How you doing? Shalom to the audience. All praise to the Most High, the Holy One of Israel, Psalm 83 and 18. How's it going?
I'm good, man. Yo, where you been at, brother? What's going on? Talk to the family, man.
I've been dealing with, I've just been, dealing with the family, dealing with the community. Got some family issues going on out here. Family reunions going on. Funerals, you know how life, just dealing with life, you know what I mean? But writing some new books, meeting new people, you know what I'm saying, via the internet, doing a lot of teaching, a lot of learning, you know what I'm saying, just soaking it all in, man. I said, I ain't really went nowhere. I ain't been on air in a while. I ain't been on Solar Vision. I ain't been on your show. I just been in the background, just still doing my thing, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot. It's a blessing, you know what I'm saying, to deal with so much. But I try to balance it out.
Hey, that's what happens, man. You come on these programs and you build up your clientele, and after that you got to pay attention to a lot of other things. You know what I'm saying? So hey, that's what it's all about. The work.
Right.
Do the work, man.
It's like I said, it's a blessing. So I ain't complaining at all.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, the reason why I got you here, my brother, is because, behind the scenes, we try to set up a certain dialogue. We couldn't make it happen for August 2nd, which is going to be that final Friday for the summer special. However, we want to get this thing going possibly in September. Let the family know what we got planned.
Okay, well, basically, me and Josh was going to have a dialogue. I know a lot of people wanted to see me and Josh debate. We had words back in the day. We've had a lot of words back in the day, actually, on this show. But, everything ain't really about debating. It's really, at some points in time, you got to really understand where somebody's coming from instead of just arguing with them. I know his position. He knows my position. But we got to understand why we come to these conclusions, you know what I mean? And sometimes you got to meet people where they are because, I was raised as a Christian, so, I put the New Testament down. So I know where people's mind is, not everybody because everybody's different, but I know overall where people be at when I talk to them when that's all they know. So if this is all somebody knows and you tell them something different, it stings a little bit, you know what I mean? So you gotta be very sensitive, and you gotta be understanding of where people are at. And I think with a dialogue, people won't see it as a fight, opposed to Davon and Josh about to get it in. It's like, yeah, we we probably gonna have some disagreements in the dialogue, but we're not there to fight. You know what I mean? I think a lot of times things get lost in debates. You're on a timer. You don't get to get out everything said. You don't get to rebut everything said. But with a dialogue, you can pretty much, you can make your points and be heard. And it's not the mindset is I'm not here to win. You know what I mean? I'm just here to explain my position and edify the people as much as possible. And of course, with the audience being able to call in and chop it up with us, I think it'd be way more productive than a round for round debate that I think a lot of people were thirsty for. But everybody knows Josh covers a lot of topics. I cover a lot of topics in my books, not so much on the radio, but I'm mostly known for debating and going after the New Testament. But there's a lot more than that, dealing with the scriptures. And we, at the end of the day, like I was saying earlier, we got to be able to understand our positions of why we feel the way we feel and why we teach the way we teach. I bring my debates to Debate Talk for you just because that's what the platform is. I got books concerning marriage and gang activities and all types of things that I really don't talk about on here because that's not what I'm on this show for. So, everybody can find me on Facebook, Design Poetry Group at gmail.com is the email address. All my books are available on Amazon.com. If you got Amazon Prime, you can read them for free. If you want to reach out to me, if you want a book and don't want to buy the copy, whatever, hit me up. Everybody knows I give books out. You know what I'm saying? If anybody want to get at that information, because the Most High take care of me, so I ain't worried about the bread. If it come, it come. But if not, send me the link. I'll shoot you the Word document or a hard copy. I've donated plenty. You know what I'm saying? If Sal, if y'all ain't comfortable hollering at me, holler at Sal. He'll get your info, and I'll send you the book that way. So, with me, it's just about sharing the information. So I think with the dialogue with Josh, whatever topic is going to be on, we know at the end of the day, we probably going to have some disagreements, like I said, but I think we could do a lot more explaining our positions instead of fighting.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, I'm going to keep it real, man. When the conference call first went down, I was surprised, brother. I was surprised. Like, okay, we getting somewhere. We kind of getting somewhere with this conference call, and all praises, it worked out pretty much where instead of a debate, it's going to be a dialogue now. How did you feel about that conference call, and how do you see Brother Josh now that that conference call has happened?
Well, being that we was able to actually talk with each other and, without the audience, you know what I'm saying? Because, when you in front of people, the ego come out. That's just the nature of the beast, you know what I mean? So nobody wants to be outshined in front of people. Even if you are a humble person, you got to control your ego. So there was no egos thrown around. We was sharing information. We was agreeing on stuff, giving us some background of, where we came from, how we got to where we are. And it was a peaceful dialogue. I don't think people would have expected, if we would have had that conversation on the phone that we had on the phone on the air, I don't think people would have expected it to go the way it went. And we were actually supposed to continue it, but things happen. Life happens, you know what I mean? So, Sal, you was there. So, I'm not just making this up. So, you know what I mean? It was cool. It was a good dialogue. And everybody knows, like I said in the past, we've had words with each other, so it's everything ain't always got to be a fight. Even if you disagree, we can agree to disagree and, show people, you can be professional even if you don't, agree with what somebody's talking about. You ain't got to get into the name calling and you stupid and all these things that people do. And, it's about the information, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. And people going to believe what they believe and do what they're going to do anyway. So I think it was a good build. You there, Sal? Is anybody else there? Well, if I'm on the air, if anybody's listening, get at me, designpoetrygroup@gmail.com. You can also hit me up at cloudsoftor.com. All the books is available on Amazon.com. I'm going to be starting a YouTube page up here in a minute, dealing with all the topics that are in my books. It's a blessing to be able to learn and to teach the word of the Most High God of Israel, whether you be an Israelite or a Gentile. Y'all stay subscribing to Sal. Support, donate, keep him on the air. He gives us a voice. Right now his voice is being muted by the technology. I know this happens, so I don't even know if anybody can hear me right now. But I know on the radio dead air is not a good thing. So I think the Debate Talk platform has helped a lot of people. It's divided a lot of people as well. But that's just life. You get the good with the bad. So it is what it is. Hopefully his mic will allow him to get back in here and do his thing. I don't even think nobody can hear me right now, but if they can, hit me up. Even if we disagree, I talk to Christians. I talk to Muslims. I talk to Tanakh only. I talk to people who are Buddhists, atheists. It's everybody's walking this day life, and they are where they are. And you got to be patient and understanding with people, because you want them to be patient and understanding with you. And sometimes we can let our ego destroy a conversation. And that's one of the things that the Most High said He will save the humble person. So humility is key to our walk. Micah 6, what does the Most High require of you? To walk humbly with your God. So, Sal, I forgot her name, but Felix's sister. If anybody can, I don't know if y'all, the mic is muted. If anybody else can jump in, I know sometimes Anonymous and Josh are able to tap into Debate Talk, so maybe one of y'all want to come in and drive the show. Hopefully this hasn't been dead air this whole time. Like I said, donate, support, and not just this show. Anybody who's trying to teach the people to do better, be better, live better, be healthy. Whether it ain't always got to be about scripture or religion. Like he said with this hub thing he's doing, or social hub, if that's the name of it. There's community issues that are going down. The gang violence is still happening. There's politics going on in the communities, and people are still sick and not eating correctly, and people are still on drugs, still prostitution and pimping, and all types of things going on that can be addressed. The marriage problem, people are getting divorced at an alarming rate. People ain't getting married for the right reasons. People don't know how to get along. I'll say, all praise to the Most High. I'll be with my wife. It'll be 24 years next month. And one of the keys to that success, of course, knowing how to stay humble and put the ego outside. If you come in your house with an ego, and another thing is too, anybody who's a debater or who's a teacher or any type of aspect like that, you cannot talk to your wife like you do somebody in a debate when you're trying to win an argument. That's not how you talk to her. When you in a debate.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Sal. I don't know if y'all could you hear me that whole time? I was just talking.
I heard you the whole time, family. Nah,
Okay.
I'm looking out, man. Thank you, because my mic went out.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I'm back on Blog Talk,
yeah.
man. It's crazy. Yeah. But anyway, man, once again, Davon Mays, I appreciate you, man. And your last words, well, you already said some last words.
I said a lot. So yeah, go ahead and do your thing, man. I appreciate you, and we'll be talking in a minute.
All right, man, no doubt, man. Appreciate you, fam.
Yep, shalom, shalom.
All right, man. Peace, man. Once again, the number's 319-527-6239. You know, show open and my mic went out, man. It's crazy. But anyway, man, listen, I got some more special guests standing by. Once again, the number's 319-527-6239. Okay, once again, I'm back on, family. I apologize for the mic issues. But I do have another special guest. He is here, my brother Bleedo. Can you hear me, Bleedo? Welcome to the program.
Yeah, peace. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, you're loud and clear, man. What's going on with you, fam?
All right, cool, man. Yeah, I was just seeing that you was having a open mic, and I know next Monday I'm supposed to be doing a presentation, so I figured I'd call in and join the panel if possible, and add to the open dialogue, open conversation, and see where the conversation can go.
Yeah, well, since you're here, man, let's do some promo about that. Let the family know what that show is about and when it's going to go down, if you remember the date. If not, I can give them the dates and stuff like that.
Yeah,
okay.
I think it was the 29th, I believe. Basically, me and Josh did a dialogue. I think that was maybe about a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, something along the lines. Not familiar with the timeline, but and we had a dialogue basically discussing the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. And I felt like it was a great conversation, great dialogue. I wasn't able to really bring out a lot of the information that I wanted to bring out because of the way the conversation, had took place and the way that the conversation was going. And I wanted to keep the positive energy and the peaceful energy so we wouldn't get into like a debate going back and forth as far as on our points. So I just pretty much played everything neutral in that conversation. So, and it was a good dialogue either way. So what I want to do with this part 2 is I want to bring out basically more of the esoteric understanding of the law or the spirit of the law. And like I said, I left out a lot of scriptures and a lot of things that I wanted to bring out. And I just appreciate you giving me another opportunity to even, bring out that information.
Hey, no doubt, man. That's what I do, man. I try to give people opportunities to bring their information on and teach and debate and, give the information out there, man. And for the family who don't know, it's going to go down on the 29th. That's Monday the 29th, July 29th. Title of the show, Letter of the Law versus Spirit of the Law, Part 2. Letter of the Law versus Spirit of the Law, Part 2. You're going to have another special guest, Brandon Blue, joining you, right? He's still going to be joining you?
Yeah, I talked to him, and he was going to join, so I got to give him a call again and make sure that they know that he's still going to join. But if he don't join, it's still going down. I'm going to do it, myself need be. But I do know he said he's going to call in and be a guest on it.
All right, that's cool. Let me bring some more people in. Once again, it is the open mic, so anybody could call in and join the conversation. Let's see who this is. Let's go to 347-624. You are live. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, no, this is Jennifer again.
Oh, Jennifer, you're back on. Right,
yeah. But who was the second guest you had after me? What was his name? Because right before you came back and I was listening to everything he was saying, and he was dropping some serious jewels, and I was like, oh my gosh, he couldn't finish, and I really wish he could have finished because he was talking about, like guys have to drop their ego. He's saying how he was married for so many years, and that alone just like was like, oh really? How? Because I love to know like how. What is your secret? And he was saying guys have to drop their ego. I was like, that's a great topic in itself right there, and I really wanted him to finish, and I was like, okay, well, I didn't have a pen or paper handy, and because he was giving out his information, I didn't get to take it down or whatever.
I got you. That's my brother Davon Mays. We can always link that up behind the scenes, though. So, that's Davon Mays. We can always have a conference call behind the scenes and make that happen. But I got you on that.
Thank you.
All right, so stand by. All right, let's go to 913-214. Who am I speaking to? 913-214.
This is your brother. This is your brother in Cozy. What's going on, brother?
Oh man, my brother in Cozy in the building. What's going down?
Chilling, brother. Chilling. What's the word, man?
I think you have to bring some clarity, man, because the voice may sound familiar to brothers, but they're like, huh? And Cozy, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
So let brothers know, what's going on. That.
Well, I'm going by the moniker or the name of Nkosi just due to the fact that I no longer want to consider myself a Hebrew Israelite. There's no disrespect to the brothers, but I just don't think it would be hypocritical of me to say I believe something and I don't believe in something, and then here I am still using Kalaya. So I would rather just want to stick to the format of just returning to our African roots, and then it's just setting an example, first and foremost in my own house. So I'm not trying to tell nobody else what to do. I just thought that it would be beneficial for me to do that, just so I can clarify my stance, and then people don't look at me as being a hypocrite, but saying, "Well, man, you don't believe this, but you still carrying that name." So I just use the name Nkosi, and it's actually my second son's middle name. But I just think it does honor to the ancestors, and it does honor to the black community, just for us to just go back to our own roots and looking at our own selves instead of having to always rely necessarily on the Bible to tell us what's right and wrong, or to try to identify ourselves in history through the Bible. So that's the reason for the name change.
So yeah, fellas, y'all heard it. Don't call the brother Kalaya no more. Call him Nkosi. That's his name right now, Nkosi. That's right. And actually, we got him scheduled to be here too next week. Actually, the date is July 31st at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Title of the show is El the Same God as Yahweh. Is El the Same God as Yahweh? He's going to be actually having a dialogue with the one and only Messenger of Truth, MOT. So he's going to be here. You want to explain to the people, how that dialogue went down, and what you feel about this particular program coming up? You can. And Bleedo, you still there? I'm going to let you join in later on. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, the debate is basically we're going to just try to show Yahweh as he's developed. I think a lot of us, like I was under the same assumption as that this guy Yahweh has always been, or he always was. But when you really look at the biblical literature, you start to see the influence of the Canaanites on the Israelites. And if you go back and look at some of the Ugaritic text, there's some strong similarities between El and Yahweh. And even if you go and looking in for archaeological artifacts, they've actually found some artifacts where they found a blessing from Yahweh and his wife Asherah. And I say that because if you look at the Ugaritic, Asherah is actually the wife of El, who birthed 70 sons, one of them being Baal. And I think it's in Hosea where the writer says that Yahweh says, "No longer shall you call me Baal." Well, we know that Baal ends up replacing El as the chief deity. So the Canaanites, the Israelites have always looked at Canaan to get their ways of worship. A lot of their stuff also came out of Kemet. So it's not the fact of trying to Bible bash. I'm not Bible bashing. I'm just presenting some facts and giving people more information. It doesn't matter whether you believe or not believe, but I just would rather empower the people with some information so that they can do a deeper study. Because a lot of it was a shock to me as well to see that the Israelites, a lot of their culture, or what they consider to be Israelite culture, has came out of Kemet, has came out of Canaan, some of the stories out of Mesopotamia, and it's interesting to see how they formed all this, or the redactors have formed all this into one text. So we'll look at that and just show some similarities between El and Yahweh, and just show how the editors have kind of cleaned up the Bible to fit a certain narrative.
All right, once again, family, make sure you tune in on the 31st. That's next week, July 31st. Again, we're going to have a dialogue with Nkosi and Messenger of Truth right here on Debate Talk Radio. How do you feel, the dialogue is going to go? I'm hearing you. Yeah, I can hear your background. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, how do you feel the dialogue is going to go with Messenger of Truth? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think it's going to be a good dialogue. Messenger of Truth is a very astute brother. So I'm not looking at this as, some one-sided conversation. I know that the brother is very learned in the Bible. And it's going to be interesting to see the information that he presents versus the information that I present in regards to Yahweh being separate from El, or is Yahweh El himself. But I think it's going to be a good dialogue. It's going to be an interesting dialogue because, like Brother Josh and, the other brothers anonymous, these brothers are not stupid. So this is definitely a dialogue I'm looking forward to, man, because the brother is extremely knowledgeable, man, and he's a good brother, man. So I'm just looking forward to a good conversation, a good dialogue, and something that edifies the people either way.
All right, so let people know what else is going on with you, man. Matter of fact, you want to let people know what you're representing right now? Like, is there a certain denomination that you represent? Go ahead.
No, I'm not in no denomination. Right now, man, I'm just more in search of like I said, the African way of life, man. And and I say this in all humbleness. I feel bad for the way I've kind of done things, because these was things that my grandma had taught me. Because with my father coming from Trinidad, my grandma and them worshiped Shango. That was what they did, and so a lot of the Christian ways really wasn't there. Even though they was kind of forced to be Catholics, she still kept the traditional ways. So in some ways, I feel bad because I turned my back on her, or I went against the teachings of what she taught me. But at the same time, I'm glad that I found my way back home. So I'm not with Kemet. I'm not going to say I'm representing Kemet, but I represent Africa in the sense that as black people, we need to understand that before there was ever a Bible or an alleged Moses or Abraham, we understood what right and wrong was. And we have to change the narrative in regards to, well, it was the Bible that civilized us. It was the Bible that taught us right and wrong. No, we were actually the people who taught the so-called Israelites what was right and wrong, and taught them what God worship is. So this is more of a paying homage to the ancestors. Here in America, here in the Caribbean, here in Africa, the past, the present, and the future, we need to start laying the foundation again for Africa and looking at ourselves as being ancient people instead of looking at ourselves the way Western civilization has made us look at ourselves as if we were second rate or second tier.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Yeah, man. So, is there any last words you want to say to the family before I let you go?
No, man. I just want to say that first and foremost, man, sir, I want to give you a shout out and give you big respects for regardless of whether you agree with our stances or not. You always have given brothers a chance and sisters a chance to come on and present their information. And the one thing that I can also say is that you always have been neutral. You've never tried to influence the people on either side, and I can respect that about you. And I know your personal stance, but at the same time, you always find a way to put that to the side and let the people present their information, man. And you've given so many of us a chance, and a lot of us we found our footing with you, and now a lot of us are taking off and running, but we got to always be able to look back at you and point at you and say, yo, man, Sal was the guy who gave me the start. So, man, I just want to always give you the ultimate respect, first and foremost, for you being a black man and the stance that you have and the opportunities that you've opened up for so many of us, man. I mean, what you have done for the community itself, man, it needs to be applauded, man. And I hope your wife, I hope your kids, everything is going well for you, man. And I hope that the people really do give you the respect that you deserve in this community right now for the work that you're doing for the people, man. Regardless if it's the Bible, if it's the Quran, if it's spirituality, bro, you have always been neutral, man. So anybody who want to hate on Sal, you're an idiot. Straight up. So, hey, I just want to give you the love and respect that's due, and just let the people know, man, y'all dealing with a real brother right here, man. And when y'all come on, give the brother the respect his house, but give the brother the respect because he's going to give you the room to present your information. So that's all I got to say, brother.
Yeah, man, I really appreciate it, man. I appreciate that, family. You know, and you said it, man. So, you know, you've been saying things that I've been thinking. You know what I mean? So, once again, so I definitely appreciate that, man. Once again, man, we're going to see you next week, my man. And take care, my man. All right?
All right, peace.
All right, family, once again, the number is 319-527-6239. Hey, Brito, you still there, Brito? Just want to check.
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right. Okay, I got you. All right, no doubt. Stand by, man. You know, we're going to get other people involved in this. It's the open mic, but I just want to get a few more people before we get this thing going.
Okay, now you good. Yeah.
Let's see who this is. Oh, I think it's my boy, brother B.A. B.A., welcome to the program, man.
Yo, what's the word, Art? What's good?
Hey, man, it's the summer special, man. We back, man, 2019. What's happening?
You know me, man. I'm just tapping in real quick just to say what's up and what's the word, and much love to all those who are bringing change and revolution to the minds of humanity. Just to land back off the last individual who spoke, I didn't catch his name, but I also would like to most definitely thank the Most High God in the name of His only anointed, known as Yeshua the Christ. And a special shout out to you, Sal. You know, you've been my man ever since day one. I ain't never spoke behind your back. I ain't never complained about you. You've always been a brother to me, an older brother in this walk. There was times where I was having some issues in my personal life, and you were there to give me that wise counsel. You, Zadok, Josh, Judy, Mill, and the various other elders in this community that I consider to be the only community. I most definitely appreciate you, man. I remember there was a time to where when you presented the Man Up segment to me to be the host, you was cool with it, and then you told me to flack from all the haters in the background. Why you give it to BA for? And it was just a whole bunch of hate. I've been here since day one. I done seen a lot of people come and go, speak on me, say I'm a loudmouth and all this and all that. But no matter what happens, man, I've always been solid with you, and I thank you for the opportunity because my opportunity started here on Debate Talk for you, and I'm still standing. I ain't went nowhere. I'm still here. So show my appreciation for you, bruh, and no matter what, I'm down with you till the wheels fall off. You know what I'm saying? I've heard a lot of flack. I've heard a bunch of back talk and Sal ain't this and Sal ain't that. But the same individuals who done said it and done it came, left, can I please come back? Came, left, and been banned. So it is what it is.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, man. BA, you know what it is, man. You've been rocking with me from day one, brother. We've been through some battles on this program, man. Me and you, we've been through some battles.
Yeah, well, definitely.
You know. Well, you know, that's what it's all about. But I'm glad I got you on because you also have a show coming up this week, right? As a matter of fact, let people know about that.
Coming up on, I believe it's Wednesday night, it'll be me and Gabor. We're going to have a dialogue about the purpose of Israel and the purpose of Messiah. This conversation is only for believers. It's for believers only. I have no concern with those who don't believe. It is what it is. I'm not here to make friends with anybody that opposes me. I respect everybody else's view, but I deal with the holy word of God, and I believe the Most High is revealed through His Son and image known as Christ. So that's where I stand. But for me, my concern is saving lives. I'm not here for clout, not here for the chase, not here to attack anyone's family personally. No, it's just information I'm dealing with. You can disagree, you can agree, I can care less. But my point overall with Gabari is that there is a common belief that Yeshua or the nation of Israel was, well, I'll start with the nation of Israel rather, that their purpose, a lot of people who call themselves by the name of Israel, they're not familiar with the purpose. And then we jump into the conversation of Messiah. A lot of them say, well, he was only sent to Israel. But the Messiah, he came to confirm the covenant. And if you understand the covenant, the conditions were that Israel keep the commandments and be a light to the nations. A lot of people are aware of that. But from what I'm hearing now is that Israel only, he came for Israel, and the nations are going to be our slaves, and the nations are going to serve us. So Israel was called a nation of priests. Priests, they serve. So now all of a sudden we need to go back and re-examine the covenant of Abraham to start before we go anywhere else, and see what were the conditions of Abraham, what were the conditions that were laid to Abraham, and what was it said about his seed being the blessings to the families on earth. What does that mean? Because you got a whole bunch of people teaching, but for some reason there is some type of phobia or some type of spookism towards saving other human beings who are not the complexion of black or brown or melanated or whatever you would choose to call it. So we're going to get down on Wednesday night, me and Gabar, and we're going to sit there and we're going to examine the scriptures from Genesis through the prophets all the way to Revelation, or whichever side of the book you prefer to go by. We're going to go through it and we're going to show that according to the covenant that was made with Abraham and his descendants, there was a purpose. And we're going to clearly and most definitely hope, most high willing, that we get to the bottom of it and prove, if you go by the name of Israel, you're not just supposed to be dealing with your people only. You're supposed to be dealing with any and everybody who is willing to adhere to the commandments that this guy has commanded all humanity to follow. And that's my concern.
All right, once again, that's Brother B.A. You know, he's the host of the Man Up segment right here on Debate Talkie Radio. And since you're here, man, you might as well let the brothers know also about this other show that you're going to be on this Friday. The Round Table episode 47. Let people know about that.
This is a dialogue between Judy Emil from the Knesset of Yeshua, also with Zadok Ben Israel, Brother Josh, Sister Ashanti, an Anonymous Hebrew, and myself. Me, being the younger out of everybody, I most definitely would chime in, but it's written that once you're amongst your elders, be slow to speak. So, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're live.
Okay. I thought it was my phone. Phone was tripping. But I most definitely would probably chime in a few times just to speak to the brothers and to the sister and just say a few words. And most definitely the concept or the purpose of the conversation is going to also be the purpose of the chosen. Because for some reason, not just myself, but various people who are in this community who goes by the name of Israel or a Christian or whatever, for some reason, it is just mind-boggling that people think that there isn't any type of purpose for the people who go by the name of Christ or by the name of Israel. That everybody just thinks they're supposed to sit down, be cool, and wait for something to happen. So our goal is to most definitely have this conversation and to prove, without a shadow of a doubt, that as believers, or whichever banner you fall under, that you're supposed to be doing something and you're supposed to be showing some proper conduct and being a light to those that bringing people in so they can also have the opportunity to have salvation.
All right, so family, once again, this Friday coming up, the big roundtable we got lined up for you guys, the roundtable episode 47. The purpose of the chosen is the title of this discussion. We're going to have Brother Josh, we're going to have Zadok, Brother Judah, Shanti, Anonymous Hebrew, and Brother B.A. right here on Debate Talkie Radio, all together in one show for the first time. So you don't want to miss this Friday's program. And once again, Brother B.A., it's always a pleasure to have you on the program, man. You're on a team, so it's always a good look to hear from you. Any last words you want to say to the fam?
My last words are much love to all who are listening, and most definitely praise the Most High. And I'm going to just sit back and just relax, and I'll tap in whenever the conversation picks up.
All right, man. We'll put you on hold for a second. All right, so once again, families, Debate Talk for you. We have another special guest, man, tomorrow. We have a very listen. tomorrow we have a very controversial show going down. The title of that show, let me go to it. The title of that show for tomorrow, we have a debate going on, the Lions Den segment. Is God a homosexual? That's the topic for tomorrow, man. Is God a homosexual? I think we tackled this thing a couple of years before with my brother Brian. That was like a couple of years ago, though, in the G-Man. But the G-Man is actually back. He's going to be debating this topic again tomorrow versus Rabbi Lewis. Rabbi Lewis, welcome to the program. Let me bring you in.
Islam, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. My name is Rabbi Lewis. What's up, Sal, brother? It's bring back memories,
man.
Brother. I haven't been on Blog Talk in years, brother.
No doubt, man. Welcome back, my man. Welcome back. Hey, listen.
Thank you, guys. My name is Rabbi Lewis.
Hey, we got to chop this up, man. You called me up, you know what I'm saying? You wanted to do this topic. I asked you a couple of questions, behind the scenes, but let's get some of the things out right now. In fact, let people know what's your denomination and stuff. What do you represent spiritually?
Definitely. My name is Rabbi Lewis. You may know me as Jacob from the Amon Ra Squad show back in the days, man. Or you may know me from the Nikki Love show with Nikki Love. My name was Jacob back then. I'm a Shiite Muslim. Yeah.
No doubt. Now, let people know where you stand when it comes to this topic tomorrow, man. Is God a homosexual?
Well, this is going to get good. We're going to be looking at the couple ancient texts. We're going to be looking at a bunch of stuff tomorrow. I'll wait for tomorrow to get into that. But, yeah, man, a little bit about me. I'm a published author. I'm a stock investor and published author. I'm an historian and a stock investor. So I'm also a published author. If you want to find my work, just go to Amazon.com and type in Rabbi Lewis, Rabbi L-E-W-S, to find my work. I've written over 10 books.
Yeah. Actually, if you're on the link right now on Blog Talk Radio, Brother Rabbi Lewis actually left a link on Blog Talk. And of course, I'm going to leave the link for those who are interested in the description box. He has a book out right now. Let people know about the book. How's it doing so far?
Yeah, I just put it out yesterday. It's called Is God a Homosexual? Council Creeds and Church Records, which is one of my newest books I just put out yesterday, but I've written over 10 books. I have other books also on Amazon.
So basically, he has a book on the topic, and he also wants to debate the topic. And it's going to go down tomorrow right here on Debate Talk for You. How do you feel about, the G-Man, debating you tomorrow about this topic? I know you and G-Man had a couple of run-ins already in the past. How do you feel about that?
I feel good. It feels good. It feels good to talk to G-Man. Always good to talk to G-Man. Always interesting.
I know. Let's make things clear, man. Are you representing the LGBT community when it comes to this type of stuff? Let people know, because we might, assume that you are. I don't know. Let people know. Where do you stand when it comes to
No, I'm not LGBT. But you may see the on the cover of the book, you see the LGBT flag. So people might think I'm LGBT. No, it's just the cover.
All right. Well, you got to make it clear. You got to make it clear for the family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right,
yeah,
man. So as you heard, he said he doesn't represent the LGBT. It's just a book that he wrote. And you want to put bring it out? What kind of information?
Yeah, this book is going to blow your mind. I guarantee it's going to blow your mind or your money back. Either this book's going to blow your mind or your money back.
All right, y'all. So, like I said, if y'all interested, the link's going to be in the description box. It's on the Blog Talk Radio website right now. So, we appreciate you. And listen, let people know why you call yourself Rabbi Lewis, man. Let them know why you call yourself Rabbi Lewis.
Oh, man, I'm an 8-year Arabic student. I've written books on Arabic. You can find on Amazon. And I studied under Sheikh Abu Toba in Timbuktu. This is years ago. And I underwent rabbinical training when I was a teenager and also studied Arabic under Sheikh Abu Toba at TimbuktuFix.com. He's an Arabic sheikh. He's a sheikh. He's black, but he's a sheikh. He taught me Arabic. He's my Arabic teacher. And also Sheikh Gassel Habib, my other teacher as well, who I studied under.
Are any of your peers, writing this book? Is anybody in your peers approaching you about this? Are they asking you questions about this particular book that you come out? Because it might be very controversial. Do you have any personal, matters going on in regards to this particular book?
As you can imagine, my peers are upset. A lot of people are upset about this, but I have to light the darkness, for lack of a better word. I think this book is going to light the darkness on this whole homosexuality topic in the Bible. You know, the math is just not adding up. It's not. It doesn't. But yeah. So.
All right, family, you heard it here. Tune in tomorrow if you want to get the full, understanding of this topic coming from Rabbi Lewis, and the G-Man is going to be here debating this topic tomorrow. Any last words, my man?
Again, you can go to Amazon.com, just type in my name, RABBILEWS, Rabbi Lewis. You can find, I've written over 10 books. Some books on the stock market, some on investing and how to close the deal. Also, history. I've written books on history, so check me out. Thanks again to Brother Sal. Yeah.
All right, thanks for calling, man. Thanks for calling. Again, tune in tomorrow, man. Is God a homosexual? Yep, we're going to talk about that tomorrow, man. Tune into the debate. It's going down. Summer special. Debate talk for you. All right, let's go to the next person. Let's see who's here. Let's go to, my brother Mercy. I think it's Brother Mercy right here. 443-815. Who am I speaking to? 443.
Hey, Sal.
Hey.
Hey, this is Brother Mercy. How you doing, man?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm doing all right, man. What's going on with you, fam?
I'm just trying, I like Brother B.A. He having that round table. That's real good. I think that's a good thing. But I just wanted to say, man, it's crazy, man, because I'm thinking like, I try to be patient, but I can't believe a rabbi would come out with a book with that kind of title like that, man. That really just. I'm surprised by that. You know what I'm saying? A rabbi. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's 2019.
Yeah,
people say anything.
Yeah, man. Hey,
I've been afraid to put God in a homosexual in the same sentence. That's just how much respect I have for my Creator. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even question, but that's just me. You know what I'm saying? But, I know we live in 2019, different world. People have different opinions. But I would say this, though, that's real good. I'm glad it's open mic. But I just wanted to say, man, is that, it's a great show. I do think that, it's going to be some good discussions going forward, man. And, definitely, man, we got to really study that word, man, because, we got a lot of people out here really don't really, a lot of people just don't have good reading comprehension skills. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, you ain't got to agree with it. You can go online, look it up. Our people have below grade level reading, below grade level math. You ain't gotta agree, brother. Go online, look it up. You will see our people have reading comprehension problems. So, that's just what it is. So we're gonna have disagreements. But I just want to say we're gonna grow.
So Brother Mercy, you saying not only do we have a reading problem, we have a comprehension problem too, man?
That's right. That's right. We got a reading comprehension problem.
Oh man.
Exactly.
Okay.
Hey, I'm a teacher. I do this. I do this for a living, man.
Yeah.
Our people.
Yeah, you should know.
Our people. All you gotta do is go online and look at the reading comprehension skills of black people, and it's below other races. And I hate, I'm just telling you like it is. You ain't got to agree with it. These are just the facts. Which means now, since you have below grade level reading comprehension skills, when you read, you might not quite understand everything you're reading, and then you come up with your own opinion. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, people have, those are just the facts. So I think that's where a lot of our disagreements come from. It just come from a lot of reading comprehension skills, and two people read the same verse, and come out with some crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because people just, like I said, and then this English language, like the one caller called in and talked about, this English language, this is not our people's language, man. We from the other side of the world. So we learn, it's like we speaking a language that's not our own. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So it's like we have to learn. That's part. I'm not making excuses, because I'm just saying, that's part of the problem too. The Bible's in English. Most of us only speak one language. You go to other countries, they speak multiple languages. So who's behind the ball? We behind the ball.
Hey, hold on. Hey, let me let some other people chime in on this one, man. Rita, you want to chime in real quick on what the brother said about our people when they come to read it?
Man, no. I mean, from a biblical standpoint, I mean, I can understand what he's saying from a biblical standpoint, but I know a lot of people that can read and comprehend pretty well on depending on what it is and their interest level. If they're interested in it, then it's like with any book. You read a book and you get interested in it, you can comprehend it. You can learn something. You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. So, but from a biblical standpoint, I agree with him on that though.
Yeah, I can most definitely.
Yeah, go ahead, B.A. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say I can most definitely see what the brother was saying when it comes to from the scripture perspective. I think a lot of us are way too damn dogmatic, in my opinion. Or we have individuals who say, well, what does it verbatimly say this? Thus saith the Lord, yada yada yada. And there are some things in the scripture, like when it comes to the Bible is not a verbatim book. So now all of a sudden we have people who call themselves teachers or calling themselves prophets or saying they're anointed, and they're trying to fit their Western view inside of a book that's inside of a text or a document rather, that the culture of the people who wrote it, they had a different mindset and a different way of looking at things. So when they, like for example, we see certain colors, like when it says I am black, the first thing a person would think of, the layman would think, oh, that's saying that I'm black. Well, we know that also can deal with expressions, especially when you're reading Hebraic literature or Hebraic, or when you are looking at a text that has a Hebraic sense or influence in it. So when it comes to comprehending the scriptures, I can most definitely see the different opinions. And a lot of the opinions they come from maybe miscommunication or miscomprehending what the text is saying, because a lot of people want to force things or they want to insert their insecurities in there as well. And most definitely, hopefully, most high willing, we can cover that when I have this conversation with Gabar coming up Wednesday.
Hey, hold on, Jennifer, you want to chime in on this one?
Oh, sure. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Got it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes. Thank you for letting me chime in. I don't want to say much, but I do agree on the way people comprehend differently, and that's just because of your experience. You got to understand, everybody experiences things differently. And my perception, when you said that was my confirmation to why we need each other, because what you know, I don't know, but what I know, you don't know. And if we come together and each one teach one, I guarantee our unity will create something huge. And I think that's one of the topics I would like to talk on, is like when we come together, you all won't understand how powerful it will be. With your knowledge, his knowledge, my knowledge, our knowledge together collectively, and we take that and create that as a tool and to better ourselves and to go far further, we will be a huge we will be amazing as people. So, like, I understand what you're saying. So instead of tearing people down, just take that as an opportunity to embrace the next man. Hey, you don't know something? Let me teach you. But if I teach you something, you got to teach me something too. And then let's spread the knowledge. That's what I got.
I most definitely agree. I agree with you, sister. I agree with you 100%. You know what I'm saying? You said each one teach one. I also would add to that, we have to all learn how to play our position. Everybody's not meant to be a teacher. You got some people who's meant to be a student and sit back and fall back and learn. And then you have some people who can teach, but then you have some brothers and sisters who may have to sit down for a couple of years and learn first, then start teaching. And since I've been in this walk, I've noticed that there's an abundance, an overabundance of Negroes online running their mouths. So hopefully, most high willing, we can most definitely come down to some solutions on how to be effective when we speak or when we're trying to call ourselves teachers and teach other people on how to, or whatever it may be. But that's all I have to say.
Yeah, I agree. But I also want to say, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go. I'll lie to you.
No, I just want to say something like, and that's a part of being humbling. It's like, as a humbling human being, it's like whether you like it or not, we have to listen to one another. We have to listen to the truth, and we have to discern what's the truth, what was taught to us out of. Remember, back in the day, we had to move back. Back in the days, like our ancestors was raised up in slavery, and we were taught in a way that was not beneficial to us. So as a brother, I forget your name.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
I'm sorry about
that. Amen.
It was somebody who said something about he said I went back to my African roots. He let go of a title, and I think that's something as Black people, because we're Black, we are the first human. Like we are powerful more than what we already know. So when you let go of these titles, oh, I'm Muslim, I'm this and I'm that. Listen, you gotta let go of those titles and get to your roots. Our roots is powerful, and I think that's where we come in. That's where we divide and conquer. You know, see, divide and conquer. That's what we divided at as Black people, because we all have different titles. Remember, these titles was taught to us from people who had our ancestors in bondage and slavery, and they gave us a Bible. And I'm still doing my research, and I feel like I wish my brother was still alive, because I feel like he did more research than me. But the research I dug up so far is the fact of even the Bible. The Bible has so many missing pages to where if we read it, we will get in tune with ourselves, because everything that we want to know, everything that we need to know moving forward about our life is within us. So it's like once we get in tune within us, we don't need nobody else to really tell us what to do. But in a sense, we kind of do need each other to guide each other. But everything is within ourselves through like meditation, through self-love. So that's just some, a little bit of stuff that I've been researching, and it resonates. It makes sense.
Yeah. Can I be heard? I want to add to, but that was a great point too, because that's kind of what I go into as far as meditation and understanding yourself, and kind of how the Bible teaches that. The thing with people saying and the thought of having teachers and students and things of that nature. At one point, everybody was a student. So when it comes to the Bible, everybody has a doctrine or understanding. But what happens is whoever, like let's say if I sit under a class and then I have a disagreement with a teacher, then, or I have a disagreement with a doctrine. So now what happens is, like same with the Christian church where you get the Protestant churches, what happened is somebody goes out and they still have the foundation in the sense of what they were taught from that first church that they were in. But then because of a disagreement that they found or a doctrine that they disagree with, they create another church or another sect or whatever you want to call it. And then they begin to become teachers of that. So this is why you have so much confusion with the Bible, because now, like I can hear brothers say, we got to keep the law. But then, you'll have the same brothers, professing to keep the law, but yet they disagree and argue with each other. But the Bible clearly say that there's one spirit and one mind. So if there's one spirit and one mind, something ain't right there. Something ain't right there. So yeah, I agree in the sense that, you're supposed to have teachers and people should teach. But, we gotta look deep within ourselves and understand ourselves before we even sit down and deal with anybody.
Yeah. And that most definitely is true what the brother just said. And another thing we need to realize, the individuals who call themselves teachers or who have this title of teacher, for some reason it's very common in the Christian church and the Israelite camps that teacher cannot be challenged, or that teacher all of a sudden he's gone to a level to where he's arrived and all of a sudden learning stops. Like he gets all the knowledge or she has all the knowledge. And knowledge is something universal. We don't ever stop learning. So most definitely we have to get to a point to where there may be other brothers and sisters who have arrived at a level to where they have superior, I don't want to say superior knowledge, but they've gone to a level to where they are very well studied in what they teach. But that doesn't mean that they're superior to the next person. You just have an advantage of you read some literature, if you studied some literature that somebody else hasn't. And most definitely what that does, when you have all these different schools of thoughts or these different knowledges that you have learned, for some reason now all of a sudden you put something on your head as if you're better than everybody. And that's one thing I have seen over the years. So we're all students, and the human mind is always learning. So I think if we most definitely will be much more aware of always being aware of learning, then we most definitely can, a lot of our issues can most definitely be solved within each other or around one another. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah, can I say something real
Great
quick?
Point.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Go ahead, man. We can hear you.
Yeah,
I was
before
going to say.
Before you go, hold up. We got Gabar here. Say hello, Gabar.
Hello.
Hey, Sal, shalom, man. What's going on with you? What's going on to everybody that's on the air, man? I'm glad you could bring me on. I just been waiting in the background, for a little while, just being patient,
No doubt, no doubt. Gavar's here. He's going to be here also on Wednesday with the discussion with BA. And we also have Messenger of Truth here. Say hello, Messenger of Truth.
Hey, greetings to everybody.
All right. And, of course, he's going to be here next week with and Cozy. That's the brother name now. And Cozy. Right here on Debate Talk Radio. All right. All right, so you guys can chop it up. Go ahead. Matter of fact, let me see. Vinny D. Are you there now?
Yeah, I'm here.
That background,
How y'all doing?
Vinny D.
Oh, here, let me roll up the window.
Man.
Yeah, I'm here. How y'all?
All right, man. Doing all right. My brother doing all right. Yeah, man. You might have to mute yourself, man. You know, but bring yourself in when you want to talk, though. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, will do.
I get Brother Mercy. You got it, man.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I heard some very good points about, as far as slavery and those things of that nature, as far as how we've learned. We've had others teach us that really didn't have our best interests at heart. And I just wanted to say, a lot of that spirit carries on when we disseminate information. A lot of us have that spirit unknowingly, that, dogmatic spirit. But I also wanted to say I teach for a living. This is something I do. And what I can tell you, the best teachers are the best learners. So in other words, you shouldn't be calling yourself a teacher if you can't learn from nobody. You know what I'm saying? Because that goes against the art of teaching, And, of course, we had to take tests. We had to do all these things to get a teacher's license. But I just wanted to throw that out there, that professionally you have to meet a certain standard. And then even after you meet that standard, your license expires after a certain amount of time, which means you then have to go retake classes and learn sit under somebody. So teaching you never stop learning as a teacher. You always taking recertification classes, as they call them. You're always learning from somebody, is what I'm trying to say. You never get to the point where you don't have to learn from nobody. You know what I'm saying? So I think the best teachers are the best learners. And, if you can't learn, I don't feel you can teach. Because, and a lot of our teachers so filled with so much pride that they can't learn from nobody. And if that's the case, then they're not the best teachers, because I feel like, if you're going to teach, you got to be able to learn. But a lot of, like the sister said, she said it so eloquently, a lot of our teachers in the past, with the white slave masters, they taught us, and a lot of times they taught us with ill intent. And a lot of us have that when we read the scriptures. We read it with ill intent. And we like the slavery piece. One more thing and I'll be done. Like the slavery piece, say like you own a mansion, right? And then somebody come to you and say, I want to cut your grass because I see all this grass you got, and I'm going to cut it so you can pay me. That's the kind of stuff he's talking about. He's not talking about somebody putting, like what the whites did to us. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about we're going to be so well off, people going to want to work for us. Like an indenture, like an employer and employee, so to speak. We're going to own businesses, and, people going to want to work for us. So they're going to be our slaves in a sense. But not slavery. But see, again, the way we understand slavery is totally different than the way the scriptures. I don't even like using that. I can't even use that word with you guys because the way we understand it is totally different than the way the scripture explains. And that's all I have to say.
Yeah, exactly. I agree, brother. I agree. The first time you say slavery, that is, that word, period. The first thing we think of is how our ancestors, how we've been treated on this side of the planet. Yeah, that is very common. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I hear you.
Whoever that is, we can hear you. You got it.
No, that's all I had to say. I was just saying that it's very common for a lot of us that when we hear that word slavery, the first thing we think of is the indoctrination from the public schools, and they talked about slavery and what we've seen on television living out here in America. That's the first thing we think of.
All right,
I like to call it
anything or no?
Yeah,
chime in.
Yeah, sure. I actually pressed number 1 when I heard Lewis speaking, and you guys have kind of gotten off from it, but somebody was, I think it was Mercy was talking about I don't know. Is Mercy the licensed teacher? I'm guessing it's the same guy speaking. Said he was a licensed teacher. Okay, cool.
He's here.
Yeah, and he was talking about how the reading and the education skills and things are below par. Now, here's a problem, Sal. To my knowledge, there's only ever been one rabbi to ever grace this platform, and his name is Asher, not Lewis. Lewis has been on Sherry Love's platform plenty of times, and I'm just going to say it because I've asked him to stop. I've asked him, didn't demand it. I pretty much begged him, stop calling yourself a rabbi. Stop calling yourself an author. So one night, I'll just tell you all what happened. One night he just kept doing it. So one night I never attacked him. I never stepped on him the way people do. I personally believe there's something wrong with Lewis. And this is why this is not funny to me. It's not funny to me when people pick on someone who I believe there's something wrong with their mind. Like literally something wrong with their mind. I asked him, what did he do to become a rabbi? He could not answer. When Lewis can't answer, he's stopping, he's looking stuff up. He didn't know the steps to take to become a rabbi. He's not a rabbi. When somebody asked him tonight, Sal, it was you. You asked him, what do his peers think? His peers are not rabbis. There's not a single qualified, reputable rabbi on this planet that acknowledges Lewis in any way. In any way. He also was saying that he's a published author. He's gone from author to now a published author. I'm not a published author, but I have emails with 3 different publishers that I've been talking with over the year for my work. Of course, you don't just get somebody. You have to do your investigation, do cause. It has to be edited, et cetera, et cetera. So similarly, on Sherry Love's platform, I took them all, because they can show their screens, whatever they're looking at on the internet. I took them to the site where his books were, and I showed them all his books. Back then, all of them, I would say 70% of them were less than 5 pages. There were maybe 2 or 3 that had up to 20 pages. The spelling was horrible. You can look at his book title on your link on Debate Talk for You right now, and you can see there's no capitalizations, there's no punctuations. In fact, I'll even to the teacher. He opens up in his book forward, like going straight. Forward, FORWARD. That's moving forward. What he's trying to say is forward, FOREWORD. But he's saying it's forward. And then he opens his thing saying that, so I'm sure you are likely appalled. The I is not capitalized, and there's no apostrophe between I and M. So I'm sure you are likely appalled, and he spells appalled with 1 P, not 2 Ps. This is the very beginning of his book. Then he has 2 spaces. So I'm sure you are likely appalled or confused by the title of this book, but this read is a must read to Kevit and Light the Darkness. Hold, no periods, no punctuations, not even a capital H for the next sentence. Hold onto your seats and enjoy this new read by myself, Rabbi Lewis, ... I hope this will be a learning experience, no period at the end. That's his first paragraph. This is not a man who was a rabbi. You guys have got to stop entertaining this. This is not a man who was educated. I clicked on because Mercy, you're absolutely right. There is a problem with this culture in the United States. You could just click the page and you can read this stuff for yourself. This guy is no published author. He is a pathological liar, but don't fault him for it, because I strongly believe there's a serious issue with Lewis. He's not a rabbi. He's not a published author at all. So I wouldn't entertain it, honestly. I really do think Lewis needs help. And I'm not saying that to belittle him. I really, really mean it because I've heard him too many times. Sherry and Brian and Jordan, they all entertain him over there on that platform. I never did because I don't think it's right to take advantage of somebody with a disability like that. So anyway, look at it, read it carefully, and you can see it for yourself, and you will say, you know what, this guy is no published author. Yes, I will be here. When is it, Sal? On the 31st? That's with me and Nkosi. But you also asked me to be a co-host for the Rastafarian show as well, and I think that's this Thursday. So I'll be definitely joining you to co-host, I guess educating the listeners on what is Rasta. I'm not the guest. I can't remember who is the guest, but I'll be co-hosting with you. So that's the only reason I came on is because I heard, there's a problem with the education. People are below par with reading. People are below par with the writing. There's a problem. There's a mental problem with a lot of Westerners. It doesn't matter, black, white, Asian, it doesn't matter. There's a problem in this country, and it's affecting a lot of people. Some people look normal, but they're actually not normal, and they're all over social media.
Yeah, I didn't even click on that link yet, and
check it
I'm
out.
glad you did. So in other words, the brother needs an editor. In other words,
and
is the brother still on?
He may.
No, he's not. He's not here right now.
Not only does he need an editor, he needs to stop lying. That's the point. Stop lying about being a rabbi. He didn't even know the steps to become a rabbi. And how could you be a rabbi and claim to be a Shiite Muslim? That is as backwards, really, as Minister Louis Farrakhan. Minister is not a title of Nation of Islam. That's a title of Christianity. How can you be in Islam and call yourself a rabbi? What other religion calls themselves rabbi? That's Judaism. Nobody else calls it. Buddhists don't do it. Hindus don't do it. Christians don't do it. Science teachers don't call themselves rabbis. You see what I'm saying? You can't walk into a mosque and say you're a rabbi and expect them to be like, you're a Muslim? No, nobody's going to get that confused. He's not a rabbi, and he's not a published author. He's not. So the bottom line is, whether he gets an editor or not, he needs to just stop lying, man. It's bad. I mean, he's already been called out, and to continue doing it, that's not normal behavior. That's not normal behavior. So all I'm saying is he needs to stop lying, but I can't fault him for it because I truly do believe his mind is gone. I mean, nice guy. I'm not saying he's not a nice guy, but he has a problem. And he's just spreading it from platform to platform to platform. I feel sorry for him, to be honest.
Oh, man. All right. Hey.
Boy.
Hey, you got to check him out. Brother Mercy, go ahead, man. What you going to say, Brother Mercy? Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say, man, I thank the brother for calling in and letting us know this information. But you got to understand something, Sal. I'm part of the Messianic Judaism community, so that was very offensive to me. That was like very offensive for that brother to call himself a rabbi and say the things he was saying is like offensive. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was just so offended by that, and I'm like, dang, you really a rabbi? And I'm like, you can't be a rabbi.
Well, what's so interesting is that the thing is that I'm gonna be tuning into that debate tomorrow with what's the brother's G-Man? Because I'm familiar with G-Man. I know his stance. But it'd be most definitely interesting because the brother said that he had some historical sources that he was going to bring out for tomorrow. So I most definitely will be tuning in to listen because I may want to press one and dialogue with him myself and ask him a couple of questions and where he get his sources from. But Messenger of Truth, that was a whole lot you just brought out.
Hey, but BA, you've frequented Sherry's platform a few times recently, haven't you?
Not recently, but I've been on there a few times. I have been on there.
Yeah, well, I'm losing track of time. But you've never heard them and Lewis talking? You've never seen the people in the chat like?
No, I've never heard a guy until today.
Oh, okay. Now he's been on it. It got to be at least 20 times, man. Got to be. You know, and with Surreal has pretty much buried him in spikes. Jordan has done it. Brian has done it. Sherry has done it. And frankly, I'll just say it, man. When a female does that to you, and I never. He used to say, debate me. He always wanted to debate me, and I would ignore him. I wouldn't even engage him because I don't think it's right to pick on somebody who has a mental snap. It's not right. It's not funny. I think it's immature. So I never really engaged the guy. And like I said, I didn't just bash on him. I literally asked him. I said, Lewis, please stop going around calling yourself a rabbi. I even tried to encourage the guy in life because he says he's a stockbroker. I built telephone systems, telephony platforms for stockbrokers and investors. He doesn't really strike me as one, but I still encouraged him. Say, listen, if that's your trade, be real good at it. Hopefully you're successful with it, blah, 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 blah. Please stop going around calling yourself an author and calling yourself a rabbi. And he refused to stop. He did it show after show after show until I was on again. And I just said, you know what, this needs to stop right now. So then I told him, listen, go to this page so you can see his books, because it was on some site. And then I showed them, this is like 2 pages, 3 pages, 5 pages. And they was like, oh, snap. But I said, look at the titles. Jesus is not even capitalized. There's like 2 spaces and then something else and then 2 question marks. And then there's a quote and then a space and then the words. Everybody knows you don't space between quotes. You don't do that. And then I took them inside the pages because you can see 1 or 2 pages. The same way on this link with this show, because he's got the link in on Blog Talk for you. Just click the picture and you can get an example of the first 3-4 pages. You can tell what he's writing and you can tell what he's copying and pasting. These aren't books. These are e-pamphlets. And the spelling and the grammar, the punctuation, it's like Mercy said, it's below par. For an adult male, this is way below par. For somebody who claims to be a rabbi, somebody was saying, how can you be a teacher unless you've first been taught? This man has not been taught. So I'm not bashing on him because that's just wrong. I really do believe Lewis has a problem. He does have a problem, and he's going from platform to platform to platform. Some guys are just stupid like that, and I don't like them. It's my approach with that is different with those sort of guys. But no, with Lewis, I believe there is a certain handicap that he's suffering from, and he's just looking for that attention. He's looking for that attention, and unfortunately, he's going to new platforms saying he's rabbi, and the audience of these platforms think he's a rabbi. He's misrepresenting the title. He is. But then again, so do a lot of people. But I would just say, listen, with Lewis, don't bash up on him. Just now that I pointed it out, you guys are going to start to see it for yourself. You may see it, I guess, tomorrow night. I don't know. But anyway, that's my spiel. I don't really want to focus too much more on it because then it sounds like I'm bashing on the guy. And I don't want to bash on him. You guys just need to be aware of what's going on with some people. And on that note, I guess, what is it, Sal, Thursday is the Rasta show? This Thursday, right?
Yeah, this Thursday we're going to have Brother Jerome. He's going to be here, Jerome Sage. The show is called Understanding Rastafari. I've been trying to get a brother like that on the show for a long time. And finally, we're going to have, maybe 2 guys, So, and Messenger of Truth is going to join me because he has a lot of knowledge and information on that matter. So he's going to join me on that show. What do you think about that one?
I'm excited to have it. I have a lot of respect for Rasta. A lot of respect because of the spirituality, sorry, my alarm was going off. A lot of the spirituality, a lot of respect for Mama Africa, respect for Earth, the lack of racism, the preaching against violence. I have a lot of respect. The culture, the roots, the history. There's good and bad in Rasta, but there's good and bad in everything. But I'm not going to chase him off. He's not my opponent. That's what Sal and I talked about. I'm not going to, focus on the negatives. I'm going to ask him a few things. I'm going to ask him about the flag. I'm going to ask him about herb, meaning marijuana. I'm going to ask him about, reggae's influence as far as it being a tool to really introduce I roots and culture and heritage and Selassie to the world. We're going to talk maybe about Marcus Garvey and, like I mentioned just now, Selassie. Going to talk about a lot of different things. I got maybe 13 different points I want to bring out just to help the listening audience to understand exactly what Rasta is. Because a lot of people in the West, they really don't know anything really about Rastafarianism. So I think it's going to be a good show. I think it's going to be a really good show. I don't know anything about the guy. I know I don't know if he's local to Jamaica or if he just goes to school there or what. But that's another thing we're going to talk about. Some Rastas don't believe in so-called brainwash education, but this guy, he's a college graduate, so it'll be an interesting conversation. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm kind of interested. What do you guys feel about that? Rastafarians. What do y'all feel about that? Brother B.A., you want to chime in on that? You have any knowledge about that?
Well, as far as I know, when it comes to the Rastafarian brothers, I don't know anything in depth. I can only give you the stereotypes I hear of the things I've seen from a distance. I know that some of those brothers are very deep. I mean, I've had a few conversations with a few of them concerning the scriptures, but I've never gotten in detail their personal belief as far as what does Rastafari stand on. I've always have talked to some who believe. There are some Rastas I have met who recognize Christ, and there's some that don't recognize Christ. So I've had those kind of conversations with various ones. And like Messenger of Truth was talking about when it comes to marijuana, that's a stereotype that I have seen, that I've heard, and I have seen myself. A lot of people look at that negatively. I take it for what it is. If a person chooses to engage in that, that's their business. Ain't none of my concern. I'm not no one's authority to tell them what they can and can't do. We're all adults. But I most definitely would tune into that one too, because it'd be very interesting to hear what the brother has to say and to hear MOT to engage with him. So I most definitely will be tapping in.
Anybody else want to chime in on that? Benny D, you back?
Yeah, I'm here. No, I don't really know too much about Rasta. I mean, I know a few Rastas, but I never really inquired too much about it. I know that they look at Haile Selassie as one of the, messianic figures, but that's about all I know. I know that they worship the Most High, and they have a lot of different rules than, or they have a different understanding of the Bible than I do. But that's about it. I mean, most of them are very peaceful. Yeah, I don't know too much about Rasta.
Yeah, listen, that's why I wanted to bring them on the table and, bring something new to the platform, and I feel like he's going to bring an interesting take, with the Rastafarian aspect of things. And he agreed to also come back on for season 10 of Debate Talk Free Radio, so we're going to hear more from the guy. But Gabar, you're there, Gabar, and we haven't heard from you. What do you feel about Rastafarians? Do you have any knowledge of that?
I don't have too much in-depth knowledge. Just pretty much the same as a BA. Just the typical things that you hear, the stereotypes that you hear. I mean, I've listened to, a great wealth of their music. Actually, one of my favorites is Bamboo Station. I actually like that group. They got a lot of good spiritual songs and everything. So, I mean, but like I said, on a more in-depth level, I really don't know too much. I believe it's rumored that Lauryn Hill, that's what she was into, the whole Rastafarian thing. So, but like I said, outside of that, I'm really not too keen on that knowledge of Rastafarian. So yeah, if you have them on, that would definitely be informative, whether I agree or not. I definitely think that would be something that would be insightful, for the listeners to know, to get more information about Rastafarianism and get educated on that subject.
No, she wasn't never Rasta herself. I think people confuse it because her baby's daddy was Bob Marley's son. That's how people link it. Right? So her one of her children is one of Bob Marley's grandchildren. And of course Bob Marley was Rasta. So they kind of associate her to Rasta. But she wasn't. Nor is Marley's son. He's not this particular son, he's not Rasta either. So that's where people get it from. But no, so I'm going to ask him what is Rasta. I'm going to talk about Ito, which is basically kosher eating, very similar to the law of Moses. I'm going to ask him about the flag. I'm going to ask him about Rasta's respect for Ethiopia. So, of course, we're going to talk about the Ethiopian pilgrims to the Temple of Solomon and the beautiful black woman Solomon was in love with. I'm going to ask him about the evolution of reggae. Ask him if he still thinks it's culturally effective as it used to be. I'm going to get his perspectives on governmental education, the adaptations by Black America, like adopting the dances and the dreadlocks, because the dreadlocks represents roots. Dreadlocks comes from Rasta. People say, oh, Samson had dreadlocks. No, he didn't. He had locks. That's an English word simply for hair. That could be plaits and braids, but dreadlocks, that comes from Rasta. I'm going to talk about slavery, or really the slave mentality and racism. I'm going to ask him about homosexuality too. I'm going to get his standpoint on it. And of course, like I said, Herb, then the bright side of Rasta, the dark side of Rasta. And then lastly, the influence on Hebrew Israelism. So those are the sort of questions I'm going to ask him when we have the conversation.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, so make sure y'all keep it locked and stay tuned and call in with your questions. Everybody on the panel as well. You can call in. We lost Brito just now. Brito, if you hear this, you can call back in. But once again, it's an open mic, y'all. So we have a lot of people on the phone lines. If you wanna, hey Chris, I know you was on hold, Chris. You want to call back in? You can call back in. The number is 319-527-6239. Anybody else want to bring anything else on the table? It's an open mic.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, Sal.
Go ahead.
Real quick. Yeah, real quick, Sal. I know I'm gonna have to go. So I know, the primary reason why I got on was to assist in the promotion of the upcoming shows. Of course, the one that I have with Brother BA this on the 24th. Me and him are gonna have on that talk about the purpose of Israel, and as he already stated, we do agree on a lot of those points. There are some things that differ. What I'm gonna try to do, in hopes that we can come to an agreement, is to try to paint a picture that involves the other nations, what their role is going to be, what the role of the nation of Israel is going to be to them, and not to try to exclude any of the prophecies concerning servitude and things of that nature, or quote unquote slavery. As they say, I'm gonna try to paint that picture in hopes that we can come to an agreement on that. Also, there will be another episode of Spiritual Food, I believe, in the next following week. If I'm correct, that's right. It's on Thursday, August 1st, right? Schedule 4. So.
Hey, question. Did the title of the show change? Because I saw something else that I was interested in, but when I saw it tonight, I was like, wait a minute, this looks like it's different. Did you guys change your title?
No. That was actually.
Okay.
I'm not sure if Sal had that up there previously because on the back end we were discussing that topic, and then we were just decided, well, you know what, as we began to have a conversation about it on the back end, myself and BA was just like, you know, let's just call it this, so that way we can kind of deal with that title that everybody saw initially, if that comes up, you know. But that's why we went ahead and just went with that title instead.
All right.
But yeah, as I was saying, I believe we also have a spiritual food show coming up next week on the 1st. I believe that's the day Sal slotted us in on August the 1st with brother Amion, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna deal with the 400 years in Genesis. You know, that's a topic of discussion that's been going on this year, especially. So we want to dive into that and try to bring some understanding to that. Try to bring some understanding to that topic. But I believe I believe that's on the 1st. If not, Sal can correct me on that. Some things might have changed. I'm not sure, but I believe that's what we have it set up for. This Thursday evening, August the 1st. So that's all I really have. I mean, I know there's a lot of other things going on that was being spoken about. That information brought out about the quote unquote rabbi, that was interesting. So I'll just leave it at that. That was an interesting read that was displayed. So and that topic that's going to be going down tomorrow night is I guess Sal, he really wants to turn up the heat for the summer special. So he, you know, that's an interesting topic. You know, like Brother Percy, I'm like, man, that's a bold statement to make. You know, that's a very bold statement to make. You know, wow. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that. You know, I didn't plan to stay on for too long. Just want to say peace to all the brothers that's online right now, everybody that's tuning in. Much respect to you, Sal. I appreciate you having me on your platform. And as Brother BA, he already put it, man, you've given a lot of brothers the ground to build. And, you know, so much respect to you for that. And I hope that you continue to have many more years on this platform. And hopefully, you know, Most High willing, it will grow into something even bigger. I got a couple of projects that I'm working on the back end, but I'm not going to get into those just yet, Sal. I do want to get with you later on and talk with you about at least one of those projects. So I'll be in contact with you soon about that. But nothing else from me, you know, so just want to say shalom to the brothers, and may the Most High increase you and bless you all. Shalom.
Hey, appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling in.
Told you, Sal.
Hey,
told you.
Speaking of the rabbi,
years.
right? I mean, yeah. Speaking of the rabbi, right? You know, the brother, you know, was saying something about, you know, he has the actual, what is it, the rainbow, or the flag, LGBT flag. You know, would that fly? Like, you know, Brother Mercy, you think that would fly when it comes to a rabbi, like actually doing stuff like that? He did say, to his credit, a lot of his peers are giving him hell, you know, for lack of words, you know, because of those kind of things. Well, you know, what do you say to that stuff?
Hey, let me tell you, Sal, my thing is, when he called himself a rabbi, that kind of struck a chord, because I was just like, why he got to throw the Messianic Judaism under the bus? Why couldn't he call himself a preacher? Why he got to call himself a rabbi? You know what I'm saying? Not saying anything against the Christian community, but I'm just trying to show y'all what I'm talking about. You know, you call yourself a rabbi, so you trying to add some, you know, try to make the community look a certain way, which I felt was very, because the rabbis are very respected. You know, they're very respected. And so I just felt like that was just totally out of line, especially with the flag. But I'm just talking about the title. I can't get past the title. I mean, when you disrespect your creator like that, I mean, everything else is fair game. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not surprised by the flag when he talking about is God a homosexual. You start off with that, I mean, goodness. I mean, everything underneath that is just, you know, out of bounds. But what I wanted to say, Sal, though, because I want to drop this because, like the brother said, I think it was Message Truth. He probably got a mental problem, so we just gonna count it as he not right upstairs. That's what we gonna call that, okay? And we gonna forgive the brother. We gonna say he just not right upstairs. All right, okay. What I wanted to say real quick is that the roster movement. We talk about the roster movement. What I like about it, at least they have a plan to go back home. Whether that's Jamaica or Africa, so forth. But what I wanted to say, I wanted to connect this to what Donald Trump just said. To those 4 congressmen, if you don't like it here, why don't you go home? I don't know why the congressmen were offended, because I want to go home. Why not? If you read the scriptures, watch this. I'm gonna throw a Rich in this. If you read the scriptures, our ancestors, when they was in a foreign land, they always wanted to go back home. I just want to throw that out for the brothers, because I think a lot of us want to stay here. Nothing wrong with staying here, but I'm just saying, and our ancestors, if you read the scriptures carefully, you'll see a lot of them wanting to go back home, like the rosters, okay, like the rosters. When I'm not part of the roster community, but I like some of the things they plan to do. I like the idea of going home. So I just wanted to say that, there's nothing wrong being in America. I think America serves a purpose. You come over here, save up your riches and wealth, and then you go back home. You know what I'm saying? So, all foreigners do this. They come to this country that's from other countries. They build their wealth, and then they go back home. So that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, Rasta tends to have a liken to Ethiopia. And you will hear it in reggae music. Some people call it raga. I call it raga. You will hear like Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and some South African nations. You never hear Rasta talking about North African countries like Morocco, Libya, Algeria, not even Egypt, because most of those North African countries are full of Arab-looking people. And that's what I said on this platform before, Sal. I said, listen, Egyptians don't have South African features. And a certain person said that I said that Egyptians are white. I never said that. I said that Egyptians don't have South African features. Egyptians,
but they do consider themselves white, though. A lot of them consider themselves white, though. Those Egyptians, I think they consider themselves.
Well, yeah. Well, see, that's what I mean. Like Egyptians, Moroccans, Libyans, Middle Easterners. They all look alike. Tan skin. Slightly dark, straight hair, straight nose. Jet black hair. They don't look like South Africans. Dark complexion, broad nose, rough textured hair. They don't look like that. So Rasta never really talks about North African countries. They love Africa, but generally it's Ethiopia. So Rasta say, they go back to Ethiopia, because remember, when it concerns Rasta, everything is about Ethiopia, like Solomon and the beautiful Black Queen. The son that they had. Second King says that Solomon gave the queen everything that her heart desired. And so a lot of scholars believe that includes a son, because a woman's worth back then was to have a male child for her husband. If a woman didn't have a male child, she really wasn't worth spit, even if she was a queen. It didn't matter. She could have 100 daughters. It wouldn't measure up to having one son. So a lot of scholars believe that Solomon gave his beautiful black wife a son. Can't remember his name, but in the Nagast, it talks about a son that they have. So with Rastafarians, along comes Haile Selassie, who was the last Ethiopian emperor. And he has traced his lineage to Solomon and that beautiful black queen. So this is why Rasta believe that Selassie is the Christ King, or the power of the Trinity. That's what his name means, Haile Selassie, power of the Trinity. So that's why they hail him as their deity. Plus, Marcus Garvey went around saying that there's a black king who's going to rise in the east, and he's going to save the black man from, slavery or whatever. So when you say that to a poor nation of Jamaicans who are desperate under civil unrest, they cling to it. Same thing with other black cults. You just tell them they're going to get some black messiah to liberate them, and before you know it, you got a cult on your hand. But that's basically what happened with Rasta. Marcus Garvey said these things, and they gravitated to it. But Ethiopia is the land they want to go back to.
Excuse me, can I ask a question? I just want to know.
Jennifer.
I like to do my research, and do you have a point of reference where you can give me something where I can just research what you're talking about? So when you do come on the talk show, like, I want to be engaged. Like, I want to know what you're talking about. I would like to have questions, and I would like to, talk about it. Can you give me like one good point of reference where I can research and find out some of this information?
I mean, you could just Google it. I just Googled it and confirmed everything he just said. I was Googling while he was talking. Everything he said is true. I just verified it.
Good man. Good man. Good man. Yeah, because it's honestly, it's not something that I look into anymore because I already know it, right? So, I mean, I was born surrounded by Rasta. I have an uncle who's Rasta. I got friends who are Rasta. It's every Islander should know about Rasta, not just Jamaicans, but St. Lucia, St. Kitts, St. Thomas, Barbuda, Bermuda. They should all know about Rasta, even if they're not Rastafarians. You know what I mean? It's like if you're a Roman citizen, you should know about Catholicism, even if you're not a Catholic, because you're surrounded by it. Just like if you're a Middle Easterner, you should know about Islam, because you're surrounded by it. So, yeah, I mean, you can find information. I can't think of anything off the top of my head because for me, it's culturally embedded, so I don't really look to see what people have to say about it because I was kind of born into it. I'm not from Jamaica, but, I was born into it. So I've been listening to reggae since I knew what music was. While I'm listening to Heavy D and Run DMC and the rest of them, I was listening to reggae as well. So, yeah, I mean, I expected maybe he would have some good information or some sources, but I don't. To me, it's just culturally embedded. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you can look it up. You can look it up, like Rastafarian, but it's a lot of things. You see, the thing is, Rasta doesn't have a specific book per se that they follow. So this is why you can have one Rasta who smokes herb and one Rasta who doesn't. And this is why you have one Rasta who says, I'm not going into that Babylon brainwash education because they don't trust the educational institute. But Selassie said that education is the key to set ourselves free from mental slavery. So Selassie says education is good. Why are some Rastas saying that education is bad? Because Selassie also went on to say that the type of education that doesn't edify your soul or can't benefit mankind or something like that, then it's not true education. So you see, there's education and then there's miseducation. So this is why Rasta, there's a lot of yin-yang. Some people say yay, some people say nay. But that's one of the things I want to talk to Jerome about when we have the conversation. So just let him give his opinion on Rasta. I'm not really going to force my beliefs on it. I'm just going to try to get him talking. If we were debating, the conversation would go very differently. But we're not debating. So.
Yeah, we might have that later on. Season 10.
Right.
Make that happen later on.
Yeah, we try to. We're gonna make it feel
comfortable. I don't see anybody. Yeah, Vinny D, man, you there, Vinny?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just listening in. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah, once again, family, it's the open mic, y'all. About to wrap this thing up in a few. Again, the number 319-527-6239. This week right here, we got shows lined up. Next week, it's only 2 week special. So make sure you tune in and enjoy them. You're hearing from the special guest directly. Once again, if you want to chime in, though, press the number 1 and we'll add you in, or else we can pretty much wrap it up, y'all. Brother B, you want to say anything? Anything you want to bring on the table?
Hello?
Yeah, you're live.
Hello?
Yeah, I just wanted to see if you wanted to bring anything on the table.
What's going on, brothers? No, I'm just pretty much, I was listening for a little bit, and then I just heard Sal say, Brother B, if I want to say something. Nah, man, just, I'm just very interested in tomorrow's dialogue, and on top of that, I'm saying, because I most definitely would like to engage with the individual who's saying that that the Most High is homo, or maybe I don't. I mean, because he's saying he's a rabbi, and he says he's a Shiite Muslim, so that is very interesting. But I know a lot of Muslims they associate the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob with the God of the Quran as well. So is he saying that the God that he serves is a homo, or is he pretty much, or is he saying that the God of the Bible is a homo? And because he wasn't very clear on his stance. So I'm gonna assume that since he's a Muslim, he's probably going to say that the God he serves is not the same God of the Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He's probably going to say Allah is righteous and Yahweh is corrupt. So, but I most definitely would like to hear more of his stance, and maybe one of these days probably back on to actually have a one-on-one with him myself. But that's all I got to say.
That's a good point, B.A. That's a good point. But I'm probably not going to listen to it tomorrow. I mean, some topics are just, to me, they're just not debatable. And other topics are just so silly, I wouldn't even waste my time with them. But I'll say this. I'll say this as a sort of here's my opinion on the title, not the information that they're going to bring up, but based on the title, I'll tell you all right now. God is not a man. God is not a male either. He's only mentioned. God is not a he. He's not a him. He's only mentioned in the masculine to show his dominance. But does God have a penis? What for? Does he need to piss? Is he having sex? Does God have breasts? What for? Whose babies is he feeding through his breast? So if you cut God, does he bleed blood? No, God is a spirit, as the scriptures say. God is light, and within him there's no darkness at all, as the scriptures say. God is not a man that he should lie, as the scriptures say. So God is not a sexual being. So how can he be homosexual? That would be he's attracted to the same sex. But God does not have a sex. Scriptures tell us, male and female, he made them. The male is the dominant of the sexes, even in the nature. The male lion is bigger, it's more attractive. The male bear, the male whale, the sharks, even the male birds are bigger and more beautiful than the females. It's just a fact. We see that in nature. So if God were to deliver or explain himself as a feminine, then we'd be like, he must be subject to something. So God does not teach us about himself. He always shows himself in the masculine to show his dominance. But God is not a man, and he's not a male. So the whole point is just like, why are you guys even debating this crazy stuff? Furthermore, Israel is considered or said to be the wife of God. That's feminine. But is Israel a female? No. Israel consists of man, woman, boy, and girl. Even land. That's not a female. It's just mentioned in the feminine tense. Similarly, in Christianity, the Messiah came in a male in flesh, but the church is called the bride of Christ. That's female. So you still have masculine to feminine, and then masculine to feminine again. So where's the homosexuality stuff coming from? It's just crazy stuff, man. It's just crazy, crazy stuff. I'm actually a little disappointed that G-Man even took this crazy debate. But hey, to each their own. Me personally, I think it's immature. I think it's silly. But each their own. They can hash it out tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure the caller is going to have a field day tomorrow. Calling in. Once again, the number is 319-527-6239. Let's get some last words from everybody. I'm glad everybody called into the open mic show. Once again, I appreciate each and every one of you. Jennifer, last words today.
No, I didn't want to be first, but my last words is I want to just down what to say, but I guess I'll save it for another time. Just thank you for the opportunity, and I just wish everybody a good night and peace and blessings. All.
I appreciate you. All right, let's go to Vinny D. Vinny D, open your mic again with the background. Any last words, Vinny D?
Yeah, my bad. Somebody eat some chips. Yeah, I just want to say, I didn't get a chance to plug the show. I'm going to be a part of the co-host with a show called The Social Hub with Sal. I think it's starting in September, right, Sal?
Yep, September 23rd, yep.
Yeah,
on Monday, every other Monday. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's basically just talking about social issues, not necessarily dealing with the Bible, but just social issues that everybody could be a part of. I think it's going to be pretty interesting if you ask me. It's going to be 4 of us, 2 ladies and then 2 guys, me and Sal, of course. But I think it's going to be real interesting, and I'm looking forward to the second season coming up. Also, the summer specials coming up. I really do want to hear that dialogue tomorrow, or that debate tomorrow. It's going to be an interesting one, I think. But yeah, I do appreciate
very interesting.
Everything.
Very, very interesting.
Oh man. Yeah, but I do think that it's going to be a real interesting season. Some new shows coming on the board, and I just I'm grateful that you asked me to be a part of it. Shalom to everybody, BA, Brother Messenger, Brother Mercy, Brother Gabar, Sister Jennifer. I think that's everybody. If I forgot you, yeah, shalom to you too. But anyway, y'all have a good night.
All right, Town Business. Be easy, bruh.
All right, you too, bro.
All right, Vinny, take care, man. All right, Brother Mercy, last words, Mercy.
Yeah, I just wanted to say it's a great show. I also wanted to say I think there's a lot we can grow into. I think that we should be thinking about going home, wherever that home is at. I'm not saying it's Ethiopia. I was just saying going home, somewhere different. Because, see, again, we are strangers in the land, and I think that, over time our ancestors have fought for us, and we have a lot of social issues, just like our ancestors had. And I think as we go on and as we grow in knowledge and wisdom, I think the Most High should be leading us to have our own. Because even though many of us or some of us have attained certain statuses and are successful in our own little ways, we will never reach that king and queen status in this nation. You can't be a king or a queen under this system of government. But if we were to go home, some of our homelands have kings and queens. Just throwing that out there, real ones, not just you calling yourself one, but you actually are one. But, yeah, I just wanted to say that, it's a great show, but I just wanted to say as we keep growing, I think as the sister said, we keep coming together, I think we can reach higher heights. That's all I had to say.
I appreciate you, Brother Mercy. A messenger of truth, last words.
Yeah, it was cool. I wasn't planning on being here that long. Like I said, I only pressed 1 after I heard Brother Mercy talking about the problem with below par reading and below par comprehension, and of course, I was already looking at Lewis's book, thinking the exact same thing. Like this is nuts. This is nuts. But no, I didn't say any of that to bash on Lewis. I don't want anybody to bash on him either, because shame on you. Shame on anybody to bash on somebody that has a handicap. That's not right. That's not cool. You want to bash on somebody that's normal but stupid. Don't bash on somebody who has a handicap. That's not cool. But yeah, looking forward to the Rastafarian show. It sounds like it's people are not really familiar with Rasta. That's this Thursday, and then of course the dialogue that I'm going to have with Nkosi. Is El the god of Yah? Is El also the god? Something I can't remember. Is El and Yahweh the same God? Something like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, something like that. It's El and Yahweh the same God. So I'm looking forward to that dialogue. It's changed a little bit. Originally, he was just, nope, El and Yah is not the same. But then he said he wanted to talk about the history, how it evolved or something like that, which is okay. He's just going to be sharing his beliefs, and I'm going to be listening for the most part. So be interested to hear what he has to say from his, I'm guessing he's going to come with comedics, something like that. So interesting to have that dialogue with him on that the 31st of this month. So we'll be seeing you guys twice here in the near future. Take care.
All right. Thanks a lot, Messenger of Truth. I appreciate you coming on. All right. And Brother BA, last word, Brother BA.
Yo, much love to everybody. Most definitely was good to hear everybody on this evening. I'm glad Debate Talk for You was back for the summer special. Most High willing, we hope that all will be edified that decides to tap into where it's all about edifying and not about entertainment. We're here to influence people and to provoke them to righteousness. We're not here to entertain. We're not here to character assassinate. And we are not here to assault people verbally. It's all about love and revolution here. And thank you, Sal. Praise the Most High God. And much love to all. Tap in. Shalom.
All right, my brother BA, man up. Check out the Man Up segment, season 10, Debate Talk for You. All right, family, there you have it. Once again, I appreciate everybody. It's an open mic. Anybody could have called in. You know, we asked people that actually stood by and stayed with us, and others left. Chris, you know, I apologize. I know I had you on hold for a little while, and I saw you in the queue, but apparently I guess you hung up. But make sure you keep it locked on this Debate Talk for You. We're going to see you guys tomorrow. Take care, and God bless. Oh, by the way, I want to thank those people that actually send their donations via Cash App at $Sal Showtime, and also via PayPal, debatetalkforyou@gmail.com. Without you, the summer special wouldn't happen. I repeat, without the people sending their donations, this show would not happen. So we definitely have the supporters out there that, you know, send in $5, whatever they can to keep the show on the air. This show is actually, from here on in, it's going to be the people that actually contribute to keep this program on due to my medical, bills and stuff like that that's been going on. So we appreciate the family out there that's been helping to keep this show alive and going. And again, I hope and pray that you guys continue to support the program. And in the meanwhile, you know, keep it locked right here, www.blogtalkradio.com/Debate Talk for You. Check out the show for these 2 weeks, and we're going to come back, season 10, September 23rd. All right, so see you guys tomorrow. Take care. God bless.